Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is part of a family launched in 2014 from Omega. You are looking at the Seamaster 300, a timepiece with modern functionality, as you just saw, but also a heritage-inspired aesthetic, tying it to the earliest Seamaster models of the late 1950s and 60s. And by that I mean the Seamaster divers, Seamaster 300s. This is the Seamaster 300 in yellow gold and stainless steel. You can see 41 millimeters in diameter, 14.9 millimeters thick, 48 millimeters lug-to-lug, a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. The strap is buttery smooth and soft, very comfortable. This watch would wear well on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Mine is 16, so you can see I've got a little bit of clearance to go a bit smaller. Down the barrel is always the definitive angle. Here's your over the top, which always exaggerates the width of the watch. And then it's probably not going to fit underneath the tightest dress cuffs, but jackets should be just fine. Taking a look at the strap, what impresses me is that this is a factory Omega strap because it's one of the softest I've ever encountered. As a brand new, not broken in strap, this is almost like Grand Seiko. Super soft, honey brown, calfskin leather, lots of bolstering to give it thickness and volume, a folded edge, a lightly contrasting stitch, you could see, to match the yellow gold of the case, and then calfskin on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging, brand new Omega factory strap, Omega folding clasp here, twin trigger. You can see press them both. You gotta press them both if you want this to open. Externally we have polish and satination, and then internally we have these two little lobes and then the pin. So you put the strap through the buckle, you lock it down, and then all the excess length is hidden underneath the strap. There's no need for minder loops. It's a very clean and secure arrangement. Vintage style, so squared off lug ends, minimal beveling, no crown guards, big crown style, and no lyre style lugs. This is a vintage style Omega case. You can see we've got a combination of polish and brushed satin. We've got yellow gold, and then we have a ceramic bezel insert, Ceragold. That is what the little Ceragold notation on the case back is describing, that the gold in the ceramic bezel insert is permanently bonded to it. Now let's take a listen here. A very precise unidirectional rotating, 120 clicks. Let's do a loom shot. Note the bezel pearl and the minute hand, the critical timing references, are both green, so you can distinguish them from the rest of the dial at a moment's glance. And in that moment's glance, you can also see that the seconds hand is loomed and operating, which is uncommon on some dive watches. Unusual, I know. You should know if your dive timer is running, but not every dive watch has a luminescent seconds hand. One thing I really like here is that the dive bezel gives you a timing reference that's cheaper to service in the long run than a chronograph, easier to read at a glance, and in a lot of ways is all the practicality you need, because I rarely time anything longer than an hour with a chronograph. You can also see we have this relatively tall cambered sapphire. There's this little chimney. If you look, you can see a little bit like a Breitling. There's the stationary metal flange between the bezel and the crystal to prevent impact to one from cracking the other. We have a lovely matte dial, and you can see vintage style numerals and indices. And if you look carefully, you can see it's sort of a recessed loom type of arrangement, like a Panerai sandwich dial. And yes, there is fauxtina, although because there are also gold hands and gold on the case, it's more of a complementary color than a cloying fake sort of aging effect. Now we do have a few elements here that are modern. We've got hacking seconds, so you can set your watch to a reference time, stop the seconds hand, and we've got the time zone function, which, as you can see, does not actually stop the movement. It allows me to adjust my time zone as I travel without interrupting the timing of the watch. Quarter Arabic numerals. I'm going to roll around to the case back. Caliber 8400, a COSC chronometer. 5-position adjusted, twin barrels in series, automatic winding, 60-hour power reserve, the mobile hour hand, the hacking seconds. We've got a silicone hairspring as well as an anti-magnetic balance staff, and escapement. Over 15,000 Gauss anti-magnetic. You can see it says so right there. That's over 1.5 Tesla, and it's a minimum, not a maximum. Free sprung with a full balance bridge for shock resistance. Beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, which is a rate that's more governed by the silicone hairspring than the coaxial escapement, though if you look underneath the balance bridge, you can see there's a substructure that contains the tri-level coaxial escapement, which is direct and indirect impulse, but most importantly uses tangential friction rather than the sliding friction of a conventional Swiss lever. We have 2 barrels in series. Again, they give a 60-hour power reserve, which is not huge from a duration standpoint, but they do give us a very flat torque curve too. We have spiral Arabex Côte de Genève, both polished and blackened screws, a bevel that's mechanical but handsome, and then engine turning on the base plate. It is a good looking movement. 38 Joule, Omega exclusive. And if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.